This is ABC World News with Diane Sawyer.
Good evening. Tonight, a reign of terror continues to sweep across Libya, and we are told it is now taking hundreds and hundreds of lives, and that the Gadaffi forces are threatening the destruction of that country's vast oil facilities. The U.S. stock market reeling. Gas prices are looking at a sharp spike, and we are setting out to answer two questions tonight. How much can you expect gas prices to rise, and will Muammar Gadaffi be able to hold on, or is he about to go? And what about the Libyan people? As you can see from the map, the crisis in Libya threads a line of dominoes, starting in Tunisia, where the unrest began on one side, and then Egypt on the other. We have full team coverage here at home and in Libya, and we'll start there with Alex Marquardt, who traveled into Libya, where a massacre is said to be underway. He is in Tobruk tonight. Alex.
Good evening, Diane. There are reports tonight that thousands of Gaddafi's mercenaries have massed around Tripoli and will move in to defend the capital. We're also hearing that pro-Gaddafi forces have set out to destroy some of Libya's precious oil fields. It appears that Gaddafi and the country are unraveling.
The message that met us as we crossed into Libya today, graffiti that reads, "Hand by hand, down with crazy Gaddafi." A large part of this country now firmly in the control of the protesters. We're about 15 minutes inside the Libyan border, and we've been stopped at several checkpoints where they've been asking for our passports, but it's civilians who are doing the asking. There isn't any military or police in sight. Those we spoke to say Gaddafi has failed them. People need everything, this man said. There are no hospitals, no medicine, no jobs, no food.
He only did one thing. He tried to catch the authority. He tried to catch the oil. He just think himself is a leader for Africa, but he's nothing.
Just to the west, signs of a nation on the cusp of all-out war. The Libyan military trying to destroy the protesters. A helicopter gunship fires on the people. A fighter jet streaks across the sky. Below, the wreckage from bombings. At a hospital, the injured civilians. But despite it all, the people now control the country's second biggest city. Gaddafi and his paid forces hang on to the capital, Tripoli. Protesters tell us they will take the fight to Gaddafi.
We are taking control of everything, traffic, security, utilities, everything. Meanwhile, we managed to send weapons and people to defend the people in Tripoli against these militias that Gaddafi is using.
Diane, another military defection tonight, this time a fighter jet pilot who bailed out to avoid bombing protesters. As for the foreigners here, they're streaming out, except for the Americans. They were supposed to take a ferry today, but were delayed due to bad weather. Diane?
The White House sure hoping to get them out soon. Alex, stay safe as you move forward. And reverberations back here at home, as for the first time in nearly 3 years, oil hit $100 a barrel today. Wall Street giant Morgan Stanley predicting that if oil goes even higher to $120 a barrel, the global economy could drift back toward a recession. Abby Boudreau asked the experts a question. How much will gas prices rise?
With the price of oil soaring to a level not seen since 2008, global economies are on edge. Investment house Morgan Stanley today warned of a worldwide recession if oil prices continue to spike upwards.
If we approach $125 a barrel, that'd get very uncomfortable. $150 a barrel, that's the previous peak. That probably will be too much to bear. We'll be back in recession.
That surge in oil prices based in part on the turmoil in Libya, which is responsible for 2% of the world's oil production. Also, fears that unrest could spread into Saudi Arabia, the #1 exporter of oil in the world. The impact already being felt here. The stock market took a tumble for the second day in a row, the Dow dropping 107 points. And gas prices already up 5 cents a gallon this week. They're expected to continue to climb. In fact, top energy analysts contacted by ABC News see $5 gallons of gas, an all-time high, as a legitimate possibility.
We could see gasoline between $4 and $5 a gallon by Memorial Day, maybe sooner.
Those gas prices are a key factor in what many fear could bring the economic recovery to a halt.
The U.S. economy would get hit pretty hard if oil prices rose significantly. If you have to put more money in your gasoline tank, that means you have less to spend on everything else.
Every extra penny spent at the pump zaps about $1.2 billion in consumer spending. And the nightmare scenario, over the long term, that drop in spending could translate to job losses.
Nothing is worse for our economy, for our job market, than rising energy prices. It sucks the wind out of the economy.
And Diane, we've been speaking to analysts all day long, and they tell us that these gas prices will continue to climb for some time. Diane?
Again, you said possibly as high as $5 by Memorial Day. Thank you, Abby Boudreau. But we want to go back to our map now just for a moment to remind you how quickly the dominoes have been falling in the Middle East. First, Tunisia, where protests toppled a president in 29 days. Then in Egypt, Hosni Mubarak stepped down after 18 days. Now Libya, where 9 days in, protesters, as Alex said, have seized the eastern outposts, and Muammar Gadaffi is hanging on in the capital of Tripoli. By some estimates, as many as 1,000 Libyans are dead, and President Obama today emerged to call the bloodshed in Libya outrageous and unacceptable. And now Martha Raddatz tells us more about Gadaffi and his riches and his children, who seem to have their father's mercurial and extravagant ways.
Muammar Gadaffi continues the struggle to hold on to power, but it seems his own family has been out of control for decades. The hard partying, hard drinking, and lavish spending of this famously fractious family has, according to U.S. diplomats on WikiLeaks, provided enough dirt for a Libyan soap opera. Take eldest son Saif, who vowed days ago his family would fight to the last bullet. He reportedly bought this $16 million mansion in London, and 2 years ago at a party on St. Bart's, paid Mariah Carey $1 million to sing a few songs. Not to be outdone, Brother Mutassim, Libya's national security advisor,
Mr. Minister, welcome so much here.
Seen here with Secretary of State Clinton, returned to St. Bart's last year and paid more than $1 million to Beyoncé. All 8 of Gaddafi's children are believed to have benefited from billions of dollars of Libya's oil profits. All of this while Libyans themselves, 1/3, are living below the poverty level. And it's not just the extravagance that disgusts many Libyans. Brother Hannibal had to flee London after he was accused of physically abusing his wife. What the sons are really after, however, is power. Recent WikiLeaks cables say the level of discord among Gaddafi's children has been acute, something their father seems to foster.
In a classic divide and rule way, the way he ruled for 40 years has also played off the sons against each other.
Saif was said to be the front runner to replace his father, but with a country now on the verge of civil war, the Gaddafi boys will be lucky to hold on to anything, let alone power. Martha Raddatz, ABC News, Washington.